Hi guys, welcome to Courage Talks, Courage TV. My name is Joshua. I'm going to be your host for today. So today we are going to be talking to a very special person, Darlene, and Darlene is going to be sharing her personal story on dealing with anxiety. So another special person that I have today with me is Christine from Team Courage, Courage Catalog, and she'll be co-hosting with me today. So, Christine, would you like to introduce yourself and take it away?
Thank you so much, Joshua. I'm truly very glad to be part of this talk today. It's a topic that's close to my heart, just simply because of how widespread it is and how there's no specified solution.
Yep.
And I'm really so glad to have Darlene on
Yep.
to share her story and encourage everyone that is probably facing the same situation. Especially, I think it's especially in this season.
Yeah. True.
It's something that we all need to hear.
Yes.
So just to get the ball rolling on the
Yep.
topic of anxiety, something that I understand is that everyone goes through some level of anxiety
Correct.
and feels distressed as a result. But that doesn't necessarily mean they face anxiety disorder.
I see.
Um, so these disorders alter how a person processes emotions and how they behave and such. So mild anxiety would be a little bit vague and unsettling, but some who face severe anxiety disorder, they actually have a completely different and altered day-to-day life pattern
I see.
because of the disorder that they face. Yeah. So to start us off, Darlene, um, please introduce yourself and tell us what you do and how your everyday looks like.
Right. Hi everyone. My name is
Hello.
Darlene. Because hey, so I'm an early childhood teacher. I'm actually in Singapore. Okay,
Wow.
and I'm an only child. Yeah, I'm an only child, so I still live with my parents. So and
We all do. We all do.
yeah, so
Yeah, we
my
are too.
We all do.
but it's awesome, right?
Yeah.
You come home after work and you have food on the table. And my parents are
Yep.
awesome. Yeah, and
Yeah.
sometimes I do spend time with my fiance as well. Yeah, so we will
Oh.
take turns. Yeah, I'll come over to his place or he'll go over to my place. Just like that.
Cool. So that sounds really pleasant, really peaceful, if I may.
Oh
So
yes.
Darlene, but we do know the reason you're here today is to speak on the topic of anxiety, simply because you've also
Yes.
been through uh, this whole emotion roller coaster. So would it
Mhm.
be? Could you please share with us your understanding of anxiety from your perspective?
Yeah. Okay. So let's first emphasize that I'm not a professional, but I can share like my own point of view on what happened to me. So I feel
Yeah.
that this anxiety is something that is becoming very common. So what
Mm.
happened to me when I do get these effects is that I hyperventilate. So I feel like I can't breathe. My body might start shaking. I have sweaty palms or sweaty feet. And in that moment, I just feel like I can't think. So I really feel like just the need to get out of the situation.
Mm.
Sometimes I'll just end up bursting into tears. Um, because I can't face the day.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Could you just to follow up on that
Mm-hmm.
uh what you just shared with us? Could you
Yeah.
maybe tell us a situation or something that one specific story or something that actually happened to you uh to understand this further?
Okay. So what happened to me is that I started getting these anxiety attacks in secondary school. So I actually started off high school fine, but it was like in the middle of the year that I noticed that this started happening to me. So what
Mm.
would happen is I will wake up and I feel like I can't even step out of the house. And if
Mm.
anyone tried to tell me otherwise, I just hyperventilate. I just will start shaking, and I just cannot face the day. Yeah, so that is my experience. And uh, even if I do go to school, I will end up just leaving even before classes can start because I will just have an episode in school.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll
Right.
just break down. Yeah. So that is the level of anxiety that I had in secondary school, and that's where it all started.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, with your struggle during high school is also the place where
Mhm.
you are amongst your classmates, your teachers, and such. Was it
Right.
a chore to connect with those around you? Like especially in school, I mean, high school is
Yeah.
not necessarily easy on a normal
Correct.
occasion, and then you
Right.
had to deal with all these emotions. How was it with connecting with the people around you?
I definitely couldn't because in secondary school, like I told you, I kept falling sick, right? Like, sick in the sense.
Mm.
So not many. I didn't really get to know that many people, and neither did they try to get to know me. Um, so I mean, it was a very difficult time, you know,
Right.
where I really couldn't make friends. And I think it's also because like in primary school I was known for mixing more with the Malay crowd. So I had more Malay
Mm.
friends as compared to Chinese friends. Whereas in secondary school it was a very different ball game because it was a Catholic school. So um there were not many Malay students there.
Yeah.
So it was very hard to find a way to mix with these friends. Not saying that they are horrible people, but I just didn't know why I couldn't relate to them in that
Right.
sense. Yeah.
Disclaimer, we are not hitting out on any
Yes,
Catholic
yes. I'm
schools.
not racist, guys. I love all of you people. Really. I
Kathleen,
just didn't know.
Darlene is actually Catholic, right? Darlene is Catholic, right?
Yes,
You go
yes.
to Catholic
I'm
church, yeah.
Catholic. I'm Eurasian, guys. I'm Eurasian. So I'm actually very rojak. So I should be able to mix with everyone, but I don't know why. At the point of time, I felt like I couldn't, because I was so, I don't know. I think I psyched myself out in that sense. Yeah. So like I said, I think one of the things that caused my anxiety was my own personal expectations. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Right.
I think I was too much in my head, so I couldn't really mix with my friends.
I see.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. How about with your family? Those
Mhm.
close to you, like not in school, right? Was it
Yeah.
did what you were going through, did it impact your relationship with your family members
I think
and close
definitely
friends?
at home. Um, it did cause a strain with my dad, I would
Mm.
say, because he just couldn't understand what I was going through. Yeah. So it's not that I hated him, or like we just couldn't uh get each other, or like it pushed us further apart. But no, I would say that it's just he couldn't understand me, that's all.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, Darlene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm,
Thank you for, being so vulnerable with this. Thus far and stuff.
Right.
I just want to know, like, it's just a curiosity, like, why do you think
mm,
like your dad like couldn't understand your situation, and because there's this saying, like, I don't know how far true it
mm,
is, whether it's true or not.
right.
Like Asian
Mm,
parents, they usually like they are very tough exterior and stuff like that, and they don't
yeah.
really understand sometimes what we go through, behind closed doors and stuff like that, or what's happening on the
Right.
inside. So why do you think like your dad couldn't understand you and stuff?
I Okay, so now after much reflection,
Yeah.
I realized that my dad actually had a very different upbringing. Okay, I would say that now in this current situation, we are all very blessed. We are very blessed children because we didn't have to go through the struggles of our parents.
Yeah.
Mm.
After, I mean, our parents grew up like after the war.
Yeah.
So um yeah. So my dad, he's his his upbringing was different because his parents both left him, so he grew up mostly with his grandmother, and his grandmother passed away when he was 16. So after that, he was forced to survive, but he was also blessed along the way with his aunties, his uncles, being there for him and supporting him. But at the same time, he was the kind of person that had this mentality that, I must force myself to survive,
Yep.
to be successful, so that my future family and his current family wouldn't have to suffer the way that he did or they are doing at that point of time.
I see. So
Right.
it's
Yeah.
like you go through a rough patch in life, tough upbringing and
Mm.
stuff like that. So you get into this whole survival mood, like like I got to,
Yeah.
I got to be the man of the house, or I got to be the woman of the house. And then when obviously
Correct.
when he becomes I mean grown up and stuff like that, he expects the same thing of you. Could it be said like that?
Yes, correct. So he was in a survival mode. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So Darlene, like what
Yes.
made you go out and seek help? Like, because why
Mm.
I ask this is because usually when you go through something, the first thing that you resort to is denial. Correct or not? You don't want
Mm.
to accept, like, okay, like we are going through something, especially
Mm-hmm.
anxiety. So what
Yeah.
made you like want to step out and seek help, or seek professional help for that matter?
Right. Okay, so this problem, I mean, not I wouldn't say problem now, but this anxiety attacks have been had happened for a very long time.
Yeah.
So like it affected me for a good few years. So even the doctors, I mean, like because I don't go to school, so you have to provide a medical certificate, right?
Mm,
So yeah, I kept going to the doctors frequently, and they were also very concerned.
okay.
So they actually referred me to see a psychiatrist and a psychologist as well.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was the first step. Another thing that made me really want to seek help was actually the incident that happened with my friends. So it was in I think I was in sec 3,
Okay.
and I had these few friends. Uh well, they were not very close to me per se, but yeah, so okay, let me rewind and restart that story. So what happened was that because it's been happening for a few years, I was actually in a very bad state that
Mm,
I was felt very helpless, and I prayed for help constantly.
wow.
Every day I prayed for help, and I wanted to so desperately to be normal.
Mm,
And uh somehow like uh one day, these few friends whom I would say we are not very close to per se, but yeah, so they called me one night and or messaged me, and they were like, Darlene, what are you doing? Uh
Mm.
I'm like, nothing guys, I'm having my anxiety, I can't face tomorrow. So they said, okay, you know what, we'll skip school and we'll come and see you tomorrow.
mm,
Mm.
So I was very surprised. I didn't think they were going to do it for real, but they actually skipped school the next day and came over to my place. So even my parents were shocked. But yeah, so they hung out with me in my room. We just did all kinds of like we just talk, we chill, watch the show and whatnot. And then finally they had a heart to heart with me,
mm,
and they told me they were like, Daniel, what's going on? Why are you doing? What is happening? Why are you doing this to yourself on purpose, or
Right.
what? And um they just said like this is going to affect your future,
mm,
and you cannot face life like this, that you always like just try to get out of it. And secondary school life is going to come to an end very soon,
yeah.
so why
Mm.
not just try, at least try your best to get through the day. And they reminded me that they are there for me. So I was
Mm,
like very stunned because uh I prayed for help, and it came in a very unexpected way.
wow.
And yeah, so it was a message that I needed to hear,
Mm,
and I think that it's my testimonial because like it's so unexpected.
mm,
Yeah.
Right.
wow. Can I
So
can I just say something?
yeah. Yeah,
I think that
sure.
the that's the power of prayer. So whoever out there that's
Yes,
actually facing something like this, I would really like suggest that you guys just reach out and say a quick prayer like Jesus, I need your help. I'm facing this,
Mm,
and
yeah.
like
yes,
how Darlene has experienced this. I believe you will experience the same outcome as well if you have faith. That is,
yes,
yeah. Sorry, yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Continue.
No, no, it's okay. I really believe, and even
Yeah.
it even still works with it until today.
True.
Really,
True.
I never underestimate the
So
power
good.
of prayer. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Mm.
Just to pick out something that your friends told you, right? They asked you
Yeah.
whether you're doing this to yourself or what's happening, right? I
Mm.
think it's a common, I would say, misconception that
Yeah.
somebody that's going through anxiety disorder, whatever disorder for that matter, that many
Mm.
people don't understand that it is not something that is self-inflicted, not necessarily
Yeah.
something that's self-inflicted.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm curious to know about is what situations may have triggered these episodes. Like, was it something that happened the day before? Was it something that
Mm.
happened, or something that you read? Something. What were there specific triggers to these suddenly not being able to, wanting to go to? You don't feel like going to school when you wake up in the morning. You have these feelings, overwhelming feelings. Were there any triggers?
Okay. So at that point of time, when you go through an anxiety attack, like at that time, I couldn't figure out what caused the anxiety.
Mm.
Like
Mm.
because my mind just kept racing every day, so there was no time to really like give myself the harsh treatment, because you're
Right.
just trying to get out of it. But now, after having a lot of time to talk to people, to get help and actually like find different ways to cope, that I realized what my triggers were. I think my triggers definitely were my own personal expectations of myself,
Mm.
not wanting to disappoint my parents.
I see.
uh
Mm.
Wow.
yeah, because I'm an only child, so I have higher expectations of myself, and because I have a very close relationship with my cousins as well, so like
Mm.
I have younger cousins that I feel look up to me, so I don't want to disappoint them and say that these things cannot be done.
Mm.
So like yeah, I just wanted to set a good example, and also actually expectations of the teachers and the school.
Mm.
So
Right.
I'm a very people pleaser at a point of time. Like I like to please everybody else and make everybody happy. So the teachers and even the principal of the school, they were like telling us, hey, you guys are like the best batch that we have, like you need to perform, so that I think that also caused me to be even harder on myself.
I
Yeah.
see. Wow.
I
But actually,
see.
my parents didn't have any expectation. They just, parents are they just want you to do well in school. Actually, you
Mm.
know, and my parents were awesome. They always say, just do your best. They never expected like, oh, you must have all band one. No, but I don't know why I felt the need to like really do my best and be the best if I can.
Mm.
Wow.
Ah,
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Um, so throughout your entire years of experiencing going through this these emotions and this anxiety and these
mm,
sudden episodes of not wanting to mix or not wanting to go to school and all that, right? Would it have been possible for others to know that you were going through this, um, if they would have come up to you and said, hey,
mm.
Darlene, maybe in church, maybe in school, maybe even if it's your family, would you have shared? Like, would you have told them, yeah, actually, I am going through this. If they asked you, how are you, Darlene? How are you doing? Are you going through
Actually,
something?
my mom knows. My mom knew about it. In fact, she's been journeying with me throughout the whole time. But if it was anyone else that is not from my family, I think they would have to be very patient and very persistent about it. Yeah, because I
Mm,
felt like at the point of time, it's not something that like I mentioned before, I wanted to be normal, you
Mm.
know. But yeah, so it was not something that I wanted to admit to people that, oh, I actually am going through this. I don't know how to manage. It felt like a sign of weakness. Yeah, to actually admit to someone. So I think this person would have to be very patient, uh, very understanding, and be very quick to listen instead of give advice. So they should
Mm,
just hear the person out and what they have to say, and
Mm.
just maybe don't even give your own opinion about it unless the person is like, hey, what do you think about it? Yeah,
I think,
Okay.
yeah,
Christine, that I think that's a really good point, right? When she said
Yeah.
that, because even I have that tendency. Sometimes when we listen to someone's problem, the first go to you want to advise, you want to give
yeah,
some form of advice and opinion back, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a
Yeah.
really, really good point. I think you should take note of that. Like when someone is telling you their problems, is to just listen,
Yeah.
mm,
Sometimes you just have to be that listening ear,
zip it
and
lah,
that's
yeah,
all.
basically,
Yeah. Zip.
zip it. Yeah.
So
So
patience and persistence is key when dealing
yes,
with somebody
correct.
who's probably sharing something that is really serious like this lah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
All
like
right. That.
maybe they
Sorry.
want to share with you, but they are scared because they don't know, like, or maybe she just wants to know, and then after that, okay, if, like, she know I got this problem, so she won't want to be near me already. But if you
Mm.
show that, okay, you know what, I'm here for you, and even after you listen to them, it's like, okay, how are you okay, is there anything I can do? Then you're like, oh, okay, this person is like genuine, they really
Right.
really want to help, and you can build that trust with this person. Yeah.
Mm.
wow.
That kind of answers my
Mm.
next question as well, but I just want to ask it anyway, just to make it very clear. Because what my next
Okay.
question is how can we know that someone needs help? Especially, because
Oh,
okay, now because it's lockdown, we are all at home, and
Yeah.
most of us
yes.
at home. Um,
Mm.
when we go back to the
Mm.
office, and people who we have been working with, people, some of us are
Mm.
living with housemates, people who we live with, people who are in our family. Sometimes we have
Mm.
siblings who don't really share because they're too scared, too quiet, too whatever. But
Yeah.
how do we actually help them if they don't want to share? Like, how can we approach somebody? How do we know that somebody needs help?
Such a
Yeah.
good
So like
question.
yeah,
Mm.
it's a very good question. So like I mentioned before, you have to be very patient with this person.
Mm.
Um, yeah, be patient, be persistent also. Observe them, really
Yeah.
observe them. Because these kind of things, anxiety is something that can affect their lifestyle. So if you feel that, oh, this person is suddenly doing things out of the ordinary, like missing a lot of work, or
Mm.
like
Mm.
suddenly out of nowhere she feels like she cannot breathe, or is like not thinking straight, like just be there for that person, like, or maybe even a call. I think even a call makes a very big difference, like, hey, I noticed you're not at work today, is there anything the matter, anything I can do for you? I think that would
Wow.
really help, you know yeah, if I
Very
had
good.
like one call, I mean, that one call for my friends, or the message from my friends made a huge difference in my life. So you may never know, your one call can make a very big difference in that person's life, like, hey, I noticed that this is happening. Is everything okay?
Mm.
Right, right, right. So now, going to self evaluation,
Mm,
right?
yes.
How would I know if I am going through something like that? Because as I mentioned earlier, in the description of anxiety, everybody goes through it to a
Mm,
certain extent. Everybody
correct.
experiences nervousness, when we are about to give a presentation, or
Mm.
suddenly your heart, you get heart palpitations because you drink too much coffee, uh, whatever the reason. But how do we identify whether or not we are experiencing an anxiety disorder?
Mm. Okay, I personally like this question a lot because, like you mentioned, everyone experiences anxiety differently. Everyone reacts to it differently, and
Mm.
anxiety can often be confused with nerves. So like
Mm.
the nerves you experience before you you give a presentation or you even do an interview like this. So these
Yeah.
are nerves, but anxiety is when it really, to me, anyway, like I mentioned, I'm not a professional, guys, but to me, anxiety is when it really affects your lifestyle.
Mm.
So like for me, I couldn't go to school, I couldn't study properly. Um, yeah, so I feel that it's something that really affects your lifestyle. Yeah.
Were there any symptom that you wanna maybe share? Like I know it's different with
Yes,
everybody,
correct.
but maybe there's any.
So some that I experienced personally was hyperventilating, like shaking. My whole body
Wow.
will shake. I have sweaty palms, sweaty feet. Sometimes actually I think this is something I didn't share with you, Christine. I actually experienced like stomach aches. Yeah, I
Right.
felt like I want to vomit.
Mm.
Yeah, so if like these are some of the symptoms, and like I mentioned, everybody has different symptoms, and
Right.
different levels of anxiety. So yeah, you,
Wow.
Most of the symptoms seem very dangerously close to nervousness, huh? Like it's
yeah,
very easily replaceable with nervousness, but then that's why it's so hard to
mm,
identify that you may be experiencing something more serious.
yeah.
Okay, something to take
So
note.
this is
Yeah.
why I definitely suggest to seek professional help, because there's a very
Mm,
I feel like with mental health, right? There's a very
mm,
fine line
Mm.
with anxiety. And
mm.
also a fine line to depression. You don't know how far your anxiety can go, that it might actually be depression. So for me in secondary school, I didn't know whether I was actually having this anxiety, or I was actually going through a stage of depression.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I feel that professional help is very important, because like I just feel mental health is not something that you should take lightly, and I'm
Right.
very glad that now in the world people are actually taking their mental health seriously.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
It's great.
Wow.
Mm.
That's amazing, Darlene. Again, thank you so much
Mm.
for sharing your heart. So this is comes to the part where it's one of my favorite questions, because now we have,
Yes.
in a way, based on your personal opinion, identified what anxiety can be.
Mm.
What are the practical ways that we can manage this?
Okay, so some of the things that I did is definitely I found a very good support system.
Mm.
Okay, so I felt that I could talk to my mom. I found good friends that I could talk to, you know. Um yeah, so I got some of these people, and so when I shared with them, that helped me to understand myself a bit better. And I also celebrated little milestones. So
Wow.
like
Mm.
when I finally pushed myself to go to school for one whole day, then I bought some little like bracelet, or even something that I love to eat, so that it's like, yes,
Nice.
I did it, and I reward myself for it. Yeah. And then I also learned some reading techniques
Mm.
that I practice, over time. I guess
Got
I'm not very good at reading techniques. So
You
I
mean
have friends
breathing
who
breathing
actually know.
techniques, breathing
Yes,
techniques.
breathing
Oh,
techniques.
okay,
Because
okay.
like I said, like during an episode, I would say, or an
Yep.
attack, um I tend to hyperventilate, so I feel like I can't breathe properly, or
Wow.
the air just doesn't want to go in. So you have I have some breathing techniques on hand,
Yep.
or my friends, they actually know some breathing techniques that they will, okay, remind me, like, okay, do your breathing techniques, okay, do your deep breath in. Yeah.
Wow.
Show us like one
Mhm.
two breathing techniques if you can, for viewers.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. Okay, so there's one that you have your thumb and your pinky finger. So the thumb goes over your right nostril, and the
Okay.
pinky goes over the left. So with the thumb on your right nostril, you will take
Okay.
a deep breath in, and then switch with your pinky on your left and breathe out through your nose.
Oh my God, I feel like
Then
getting
you keep.
anxiety because of
Then
My
this.
you.
nose is sticking together.
Just kidding, I'm just kidding.
So again, you breathe in and then you switch and breathe out. Yeah. So
Make
that's
sure you
one.
blow your nose before doing this.
Oh yes, yes. Please no runny nose or else you're okay. It's not a glamorous side. I also have coping techniques that I do, which is focusing on things that I can do at the point of time. So there's like I can like 5 things you can see, 4 things you can taste, 3 things you can hear. Yeah, you can actually go and search that. They have different things that you can do
I see.
to cope. Yeah, and I also make sure that I look for help. So when I feel that oh no, it's going to come on, I will call someone, and yeah, just know who you can call. And if you are ever alone, I would say don't even be afraid to look for a hotline. To be
Wow.
honest, this is not something that I've admitted to even my family members.
Mm.
But I've actually called a suicide hotline before just to
Wow.
look for help. Yes.
Mm.
Um, because I didn't know there was no one around me at that point of time. My phone also I couldn't find my phone. Not couldn't find my phone, but I don't know why I couldn't call anyone for help. Because everyone was busy. So I just looked up the internet and I was like, you know what? Okay, I don't know what else to do. Yeah. So this is not something that I've admitted, but I think like I just want to share with your viewers and your listeners that if you need help, you should look for it. Like there are people out there that are willing to help you, but you have to be brave and be courageous, and look for help. Yeah. And definitely the last one I have to say is the power of prayer. Like we mentioned just now, you if you don't pray for it, you don't know uh you just won't receive it, because it does say in the Bible, right, guys? Ask
Yes.
and you
Yes.
shall receive.
Amen.
Yeah. So
Preach.
yes. So pray, guys. That's very important.
So good. Thank
Very
you.
nice. Very nice.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Darlene. Honestly, it's an eye-opening conversation, and I think it's a conversation that everybody needs to hear. Thank you for sharing your heart, and thank you for being so willing to be vulnerable, with us during this, and tell us your story. I really
Yeah.
hope people hear this and get encouraged, because I think that the point that we're trying to get across is it's not the end of the tunnel.
Yep.
It's not a dead end.
Yeah.
There's always a way through.
Yeah.
Come
And
on.
No, sorry guys, but I just want to say
yeah,
thank you as well. Thank you both so much for having this platform for me to share. This is a topic that has been very close to my heart, and I'm sure
Wow.
Christine knows it because Christine and I have been friends for a long time already.
Nice.
come
So,
on.
yeah, girl.
Include
So
me. So
yeah,
I just
it's
want
a
to be your
topic
friend,
that
lah. I just
yes,
want to be friends with
you're my friend,
I just
dude.
want to be
Yeah.
friends with you all.
Yeah. So no, but really, just thank you so much for having me on your platform to share my experience. Like I said, I'm not a professional, but it's something that I feel is it's a thing that is expanding, and people don't take their mental health seriously. You
Yes.
know,
Hmm.
they
Very true.
like the older generation, especially, they don't understand like, oh, mental health is actually a thing,
Mm.
and
Yeah,
it's nothing to be ashamed of. If you
yeah.
need help, just look for it. So I want to thank you for giving me this time and this place, this space, a very safe space to share my experience. And I hope that this message will reach people who definitely need help but are afraid to look for help. Like guys, please, just if you need help, just look for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Superb, superb. And thank you so much for having me in this conversation as well, Joshua. Seriously, I'm so happy. I'm so happy I was part of this, because I don't know. It's a topic that I truly, truly wanted to be part of, lah. Yeah,
Oh.
back to you.
Thank you so much, Darlene, firstly, for sharing your heart. And yeah, I'm truly like blessed, to be honest. Like just having this conversation with the both of y'all, it's been really an eye opener for me, because at least now I will know how to identify, let's say, if someone needs help. And what you said just now really touched me, in the sense that sometimes just a call, just a message to
Mm.
somebody can really, really lift their spirits up. And I believe that's so important. So thank you, Darlene. Again, I really, really appreciate your journey, your testimony, and also sharing your heart. So, guys, before we end, I just want to read this one verse that just came to my mind just
Mm.
now. It's from Philippians 4:6-7. It says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of
Mm.
God," and this is the part I really like, when you are not anxious, and in prayer, like what you mentioned, Darlene, earlier, in prayer, when you seek God, uh, with thanksgiving, thanking Him for everything that has happened, and just giving thanks. I believe that opens the door to the peace of God that transcends all understanding. It's a peace that you cannot describe, it's something that you cannot explain, but it just comes over you. And I believe
Wow.
that that is the ultimate way of dealing with this problem. But also seek
Wow.
help, like what Darlene mentioned. And I just want to leave that with you, whoever that's facing this. So thank you so much. If you're an audio person, you can check out our podcast called Courage Talks on Spotify. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.
Woo. Bye bye.